Hello everyone, this is Farouk Mallah from Daskra and you're listening to the Dan Shan Show.
So my guest on tonight's show reigns from the Middle East, Lebanon to be exact. His atmospheric black metal outfit, Daskra, got my attention a few weeks ago, and I wanted to get him on to discuss a whole host of things. Good evening, Farouk. How are you tonight?
Glad to be, one of your guests.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you so much, bro.
So whereabouts in Lebanon are you?
Yeah, I'm from Tripoli, North Lebanon.
Yep.
It's a small city,
Yep.
relatively small. Outside of music, I run a piano business.
Okay.
Now I've been running it for about 5 years now and it's doing well. Music has always been the biggest part of my life. I've been, playing guitar for around 20, 25 years, maybe something like that. Over the
Yeah.
years, I realized that, atmospheric black metal is a genre where I feel the most honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll get into that later or
We
something.
are 100% going to get into that. Let me just
Mhm.
bring you back though. The piano business. Do you sell pianos? Do you tune pianos? Do you teach piano? What is it?
Yeah, yeah, I used to teach piano, to give piano lessons to people. Now I just sell pianos,
Okay.
mainly digital pianos imported from mainly China, you
Okay.
know, and I have my own business right now, which is pretty good,
Awesome.
It's doing pretty fine.
Awesome.
So
You know,
yeah,
I'm a drummer myself, and I'd love to be able to play a tuned instrument, but obviously in a digital tuned
great.
instrument. So that fascinates me. But I want to move on this very quickly because I want to ask, and I'm sure a lot of my listeners will be interested to find out what the situation in Lebanon is like right now. You know, this unnecessary trouble being caused by your southern border. Is it affecting you? Is there any issues there?
You know, um, Lebanon is, yeah, that's an interesting question. I hope I don't get myself into trouble,
Well, that's yeah,
saying
yeah,
stuff that, yeah, but if you ask me about the situation in Lebanon, first, Lebanon is a very diverse country, so to speak. We have different religions, communities, and cultures living together. And that's been, part of Lebanon's identity for a long time.
yeah,
Um, like every diverse society, it has its strengths and challenges. If you know little about Lebanon's history, you'll
mm,
know we've lived through some, very difficult periods, especially the Civil War. Before that, did you know that Lebanon was often called, the Switzerland of the Middle East?
right, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, back in the 60s, something like that, because people from across the region came here to enjoy the mountains, the sea, the culture, and the fact that you can experience all four seasons in one small country, it's a beautiful place.
yeah. I've heard this,
So,
and
yeah,
Beirut is a good night out. I've heard that. I've heard it's a really fun place.
it is, yes.
It's a shame what's happening from the south. It really is. Is that a big effect? You know, for you personally, or is it like as a country as a whole, or is that more a southern thing? Because obviously the country spreads along down the Mediterranean coast.
You know what's happening in the south now is actually not affecting Lebanon because, again, Lebanon is a diverse country and, you know, we don't have federal, it's not like the US. Every part of the country is divided,
Yeah.
so to speak. No, but however, what happens in the south stays there. So
Right.
it's not
Okay.
affecting us,
Okay.
we people from the north.
Good, as long as you're safe. Right. Enough of that. Let's get into the music because if you don't mind, I want to go into
Yeah.
your music career. Obviously, you mentioned the pianos. I wanted to find out how you got into music, in particularly metal, I've spoken to Iranian metal bands, Algerian metal bands, and it fascinates me how metal seeps into, a country with so many like fusions of culture. Tell me about that and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah. So why black metal to me? Yeah. For me, atmospheric black metal in particular is almost like meditation. When I listen to it, I disconnect from the noise of everyday life and enter a completely different state of mind.
Yeah.
I think that's something people often misunderstand about black metal. They think it's Satanist and something like that. So maybe it's in, some aspect of people are maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not what defines black metal to me, you know. If you're a listener, you don't only hear the music, you actually feel the atmosphere. Sometimes it helps you release anger, sometimes it helps you release sadness, wherever you are,
Yeah.
the state you're experiencing at the moment. Sometimes it simply gives you 10 minutes to reload. Most of us have job, businesses, responsibilities, families and all that. So we can't always escape to nature. But through this music, we can, escape emotionally for a little while. That's what atmospheric black metal has always given me.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's why I hope Daskra can give to other people as well.
For sure. I'm loving the three tracks you've released, and we'll get into that as well. But let's go back a little bit further in Farouk's life. How did you get from, living in northern Lebanon, finding metal music as a young child, maybe, or even later in life? I don't know how that happened. How,
Yeah,
how did that happen?
uh, I s- I started I started playing guitar when I was very little, like maybe 10 or 12 years old. I discovered Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden
Yeah.
was my first, metal band, obviously. Then I stumbled across Cradle of Filth.
Right.
Danny was amazing. He is, and he's still amazing. Give him a
Yeah.
lot. So I thought to myself, yeah, this is the music that I want to be listening to for the rest of my life.
Wow.
You
Okay.
know, being a small kid, yeah, it got my attention instantly. So, you know, then we started to, bands and all that, tribute bands, Metallica tribute bands, Slayer, Megadeth, something. We got into small gigs, and in Lebanon, it's not the metal scene here is small. Used to be big actually in the early 2000s,
Right.
especially when it comes to extreme metal.
Why?
It's
Why was it big then?
small.
Why? What
And
made it big?
yeah, it was people were suddenly into this music, and there's an incident that happened. Um, why it has dropped suddenly? There's an incident. I call it the jail story. One
Okay.
interesting chapter in Lebanon's metal history happened in the early 2000s. At that time, Daniel, extreme metal was becoming much more visible. And unfortunately, there were a lot of misunderstanding about the scene. Some individuals used, controversial symbols and
Yeah. Yeah.
provocative behavior,
Yeah.
and that created a lot of, public attention.
Of course.
As a result, many people started to, associating all metal musicians with Satanism, even though there wasn't an accurate
No. No. No.
picture of the entire scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
So I remember some people that, yeah, some young people were questioned by the authorities about because, those fears and misconceptions. Fortunately, that never happened to me at that time. I was playing in a Metallica tribute band and just enjoying the music like, any other teenager. So I think that period had a lasting impact on the Lebanese metal scene. Some
Wow.
musicians
Wow.
became more cautious. Yeah, some
So,
bands disappeared.
well, that's perfectly
Yeah, so
leads into
over
my.
time, the scene became much smaller, so to speak.
Well, that leads me to the next question. Actually, I mean, I was going to say, has it ever been
I
pushback
think
on?
now people, yeah,
Has there ever been pushback on metal in your part of the world? I mean, it seems to be that it was like people were scared of the authority, and I don't want you to speak out if you don't want to. tell me to stop, please. But what's the situation with that? I mean, why
Yeah.
would people want to stop playing their music?
It's not about the music. It's about the, the acts or the, the rituals
The
that they
symbolism.
were,
Yeah.
the symbolism. Teenagers, they were, grabbing some inverted crosses and all that, and, so, spray painting the walls with, 666 and all that.
Mm.
It was really childish, nothing serious. So the authorities were like, okay, maybe we have Satanism now in our country.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. So it was a phase, it was a phase like a month or two.
Okay.
Then they forgot about it completely.
So
So bands disappeared. Yeah,
was that
sorry.
did they disappear out of fear? I mean, did this affect you and your music? Because I wanted to ask what metal was available in the shops per se, or did you get it from outside sources? Was it available inside Lebanon, or did you have to pick it up from radio or internet or anything?
Yeah, mainly you have to pick it up from the internet. You can't find like, Bochum,
Mm.
record in the store, or you can find like Dracht or Mindy or whatever. You can't. Still, still you can find. Maybe there is a store. Yeah, there was a store in Beirut. It's called Virgin Megastore.
Yeah.
This is where you can find, the mainstream ones like Metallica,
Yeah.
Megadeth,
Maiden. Yeah.
some major bands,
Right.
Yeah, but black metal and all that, no, no, you can't find it at all.
So how did you find black metal? Was just purely internet sourcing and finding it out from there?
Mainly YouTube later when YouTube came
Yeah.
in, I think it was 2005, something like that. So I started to look for bands other than Cradle. So Emperor, then
Yeah.
I discovered Battery, and these were the first wave of black metal was and still my main influence.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Although I feel more connected to to the second wave now, really.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But yeah, Dark Throne, Emperor, Dark Funeral, all played an important role in shaping my taste over the years.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
Venom, of course.
do you call Daskra, do you call it a band or a project? What how do you I don't want to offend you by saying it's a band, I don't want to say it's a project. What is it?
So yeah, what exactly is Daskra? Daskra is for me is an atmospheric black metal one-man project. I founded it in 2026, 2 months ago.
Yeah. Amazing, so fresh.
I created it because yeah, it's still fresh. I created it because I wanted to write music without limitations and express myself in the most honest way possible. The music combines atmospheric guitars, melancholic melodies and emotional compositions, that are inspired mainly by nature. I have a huge connection with nature, um, memory and solitude, all that, Uh, yeah, so every song tells a different story, but together they all belong, to the same
Mm,
world.
mm, mm, mm.
Um, Everything you hear is created by me, from writing, recording, mixing, and production. For me, Daskra is more than a one-man project in my mind.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna, gather some members later and make it a full band. Maybe.
Yeah, because it's gonna be cool to get outside. Whenever I speak to one man band projects, I always say to them, "Look, how cool would it be if you get the other people to bring influences in?" And some people say, "Yeah, but I don't want other people to influence me because I'm so focused." So a lot of people in a lot of bands that I speak to in Scandinavia feel the forest, like your imagery on your singles, etc., and they that oppression of the atmosphere and the way they are in Northern Europe. But you open it up, and you might see sunshine all the time and different kind of weather. Is it hard to dig deep to find the influence to write black metal tracks, or is it easy for you?
First of all, the weather in Lebanon is not hot all the time. We
No, no,
have
maybe
the
not.
four seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being alone, isolation, Daskra, and black metal. Yeah. One of the most, beautiful things about black metal is that it teaches you something about loneliness. When you're alone by yourself, you can
Mm.
feel isolated. But when you're alone listening to black metal, you realize that thousands of other people around the world are feeling, those same emotions at the same moment.
Yeah.
In a strange way, you all are alone together.
Mm.
So um, I think that's one of the most strongest things about this music. It's not just, about blast beats, technical guitars, and playing or fast riffs. It's not about that at all. It's about expressing expressing emotions that are often difficult to put into words. And when someone else hears your music and says, I know exactly how that feels,
Mm.
that's a very powerful connection,
Hmm.
you know. Um, one thing I really love about Lebanon is that, geographically, it's a small country, but it's incredibly diverse. You can leave the coast and be in the mountains in less than an hour.
Mm.
In winter, you can be standing in the snow in the morning and later the same day drive back down, and have lunch
Yeah.
by
It's
the
it's
Mediterranean Sea
it's very similar
during
to
summer,
very similar to Catalonia here. Very similar with
It
them.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's the fact that the themes in your head are there. My point was is that the fact that where do you draw your influence? Where do you get them to write and to create this fantastic atmospheric black metal? Where do you go to in your mind to do that?
Yeah. So my influence are actually nature. I go
Yeah.
to nature. I go to the forest. I
Yeah.
sit there for hours if
Nice.
I have the time. Yeah. I personally I do I do meditations and I learned from rest in peace Dolores Cannon. Do you know her?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a practitioner, QHHC practitioner. I learned from her and I actually enrolled in her course and I'm a level one now practitioner and I did meditation and hypnosis
Wow.
sessions to 25 plus people. And, I believe in past lives and, reincarnation and all that because I saw it
Okay.
in front of my eyes. Yeah, I saw people regressing to past lives, saw traumas and all that. So it's all connected to nature.
So I want to ask you about, playing guitar, and creating riffs. Do riffs always come up in your head? Maybe when you're having playing with your kids or having dinner with the family, are you always like thinking about music and in riffs in your head? Because I mean, I'm a drummer, Farouk, and I'm always coming up with guitar riffs. I'm always thinking of riffs, and I don't even play guitar.
Yeah. About composing music, actually, I don't sit there and say to myself, today I'm gonna compose an atmospheric black metal song. No. It just, came to my mind. Uh, sorry, it comes to my mind.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah,
feel it in my gut, and I feel that um, I'm into it. So I grab the guitar, start recording some riffs, some ideas. And when I get the feeling in my stomach that this one is gonna be something, so I
yeah,
continue.
yeah,
Yeah. And I don't listen from the, listener perspective. I don't do that because I'm doing music for myself, first of all.
Yeah,
I actually listen to my music when I
that's
walk.
cool. Yeah, yeah, that's
I,
cool.
throw the earbuds and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
listen to my music and I enjoy it
yeah.
in a weird way. Maybe artists don't do that. I do it. I
Mm.
enjoy it. So I make music that I like to listen to before I can deliver it to people.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's not about, Daniel, it's not about being famous. It's not about being
No, sure.
mainstream.
Black metal's
It's
never
not
about
about
being
that.
famous, is it?
It is. It's not. So it's a very niche,
Of course.
subgenre of metal. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I like Middle Eastern music. I listen to world music. Would you ever incorporate your motherland's traditional instruments into your music, or have Lebanese tracks? Would that be blasphemous to do something like that if you sang in that way, or would you ever consider it?
No, that's a really interesting question, by the way. I don't think people can hear Lebanon in Daskra in
No, no,
a
no, no, they can't.
literal
No, 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 they
sense.
can't. No, exactly. And you know what's funny? I played your music to a friend of mine last weekend, and he was like, "Oh, this is where's this from? It must be." And I said, "You know what? I guess you can't guess where this is from." And he could not believe it. There's nothing there that says that it's from Lebanon. So that's why I say, like Marrakesh or something like that, that brings in certain like instruments.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that?
No, I would never do that. No, not because I don't like the music. Not because I don't like the Oriental music.
Of
Actually, I
course.
like it. I like to listen to it, to folk
Mm.
Oriental music. But I won't do that. You're not going to hear Oriental scales, traditional Lebanese instrument, or Middle Eastern rhythms, because Daskra is not. It's not about that. What people might hear instead is the emotional side of living here.
Yeah.
Uh, Lebanon has always been through a much over the years, economic crisis,
Yeah.
political
Yeah.
instability,
Of course.
uncertainty, and growing up in that kind of environment, definitely shapes you as a person. I
Mhm.
don't sit down and write songs about those events directly, but they become part of the emotions that find their way into the music. So
Yeah.
it's not about including oud, this is how we say it in Arabic, oud music, and it's not about, including flutes and something like that
Yeah.
to sound Oriental black metal. It sounds I can't stand it, bro. It sounds cheesy to me, and
I get
I
it.
think people who do that are absolute wankers to me. I don't know. I don't want to
Just
be disrespectful,
just say
but
it.
I think they are absolute arrogant people. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Maybe
No,
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong,
no,
but
you're mate. It's an opinion. We love that, And I was gonna say because
yeah.
I love this is just away from the music. I love Lebanese food, right? I love Lebanese food. Whenever I'm in London, I'll always go for a Lebanese restaurant. Some fantastic Lebanese restaurants. You know, but how do and I love your culture and the country, but I've never been, and I would love to go. I've been to the Middle East, but I've never been to Lebanon. How do you think people imagine your country from the outside? How do you like to think that they would consider what Lebanon is? Because there must be a lot of misconceptions, and that is the situation.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Lebanon is unique. It's not Syria. It's
Yeah,
not Iran.
yeah,
It's not Jordan even. It's not the Gulf countries. Okay. With all respect to all these
yeah.
countries, I love them all. I'm not saying,
No, sure.
yeah, but Lebanon is, if I'm gonna state it this way, um, it's France, it's Italy, it's Saudi Arabia, you know, it's all that in one country, one small country.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned that you love uh, Lebanese food. Traditional Lebanese food, there's a plate called tabbouleh, if you know it.
Tabbouleh, yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, tabbouleh. It's a mix of vegetables together.
Yeah.
This is Lebanon, actually. It's
Right.
Lebanon. You can find a lot of people, a lot of opinions, a lot of things. You can find a black metalhead, and my neighbor is a sheikh in a mosque, something like that. So it's very diverse here,
Yeah. One day I will
and
visit.
it's complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. I will visit one day.
I hope you will. I hope you
Yeah,
will. You have
for
a brother
sure.
there. You can come. I can show you around. I
I'd
can
love to. We're going to do
make
that one
you.
day for
I
sure, for
can
sure.
guide you.
Yeah, I love that. Now, let me ask you about the name Daskra. Where does it come from? Because I've been trying to like get my head around it. I mean, where did you get that name from?
Well, Daskra doesn't have a particular meaning in English or Arabic or something. I came up with the name. I was watching the dusk, enjoying it in a way. So I thought to myself, yeah, this is my project name. So dusk. So I wanted to be less cheesy, or maybe there is a band called Dusk somewhere. I don't know.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I made it like Dask. So Daskra came into my mind, and just I said, Daskra.
It's cool. It's a
I
cool
mean,
name.
it sounds old. It sounds, to me, it
Yeah, it's
sounds pleasant.
and the logo's pretty cool as well. It sits well.
Oh, thank you. I made it myself.
Really? That's very cool. It's very cool.
Simple Photoshop. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good
simple
shit.
Photoshop
A pure
added
one
some
man
else.
band project. I love it. I love it. Now, do you think? Now, first off, I'm going to ask you this question: is there a
Hmm.
live music scene in Lebanon? And second question to that, would you ever see Daskra taking to the stage and performing, some tracks?
Yes, I actually think about it every day, and I tell my friends, my metal friends about this. But the thing is, you can hardly find someone who is into this music these days because, um, you know, let me tell you a story about metalheads in Lebanon and what happened to them.
Mm,
When people ask me about the Lebanese metal scene, I always say the same thing. It used to be stronger, I told you. These days, a lot of musicians have moved away from metal completely. The end, they, they becoming session musicians in the Arabic music industry because that's where the money is.
mhm.
And honestly, I can't blame them for that.
Yeah.
Lebanon isn't really a place where you can simply do what you love and expect, to pay the bills. I actually went through the same thing back in 2011 before I got married. The scene was practically dead.
Mm.
There wasn't much happening, so I followed the trend as well, and I learned Oriental keyboards and started playing weddings and traditional Arabic parties.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I got pretty good at it,
yeah.
and it paid well, actually. Later on, I opened a recording studio, mostly recording those people, those kind of artists. Some of them were great people, but musically, it just wasn't my world.
Right,
I don't want to say bad words about them.
right.
A lot of it felt completely soulless to me. I simply couldn't connect with it. I don't wanna sound disrespectful, but I just couldn't stand the music.
Sure.
It did absolutely nothing to me. After about 3 years, I realized I couldn't help forcing myself to make music I didn't believe in.
Hmm.
So I changed direction completely. Around 2017, 18, I started, importing those digital
Yeah,
pianos I told you
yeah,
about and opened my own music business. At first, it was a struggle. And then COVID came in, and people were afraid even touching a box
yeah.
that is coming from
In
China
China, yes,
because they
yes.
thought it has
Yeah, yeah,
COVID
yeah.
virus
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So, like every new business, but over the year, it really grew. Today, it's my full-time job. It supports my family, and I'm genuinely proud of what I've built. By the way, Daniel, one thing that surprises a lot of people is that although the metal scene in Lebanon is tiny, the music business itself is actually very healthy. Music is deeply rooted in our culture.
Of sure.
A huge number, yeah, a huge number of, families want their children to learn an instrument from a
Mm,
very young age, whether it's piano, guitar, violins, drums, whatever. Um, you know, even they see music as an important part of their children's education. Of
right.
course, they're not raising the next atmospheric black
No,
metal musician,
of course not.
but they are usually learning, classical music or traditional styles, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There's a market, a real serious market for music stores here. People are always, buying instruments, up, upgrading them and looking
Oh,
forward for lessons.
that's healthy. That's healthy,
It's a
right?
business
Yeah.
that continues to grow.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
So, are there any other that you are aware of black metal bands in Lebanon?
Yeah, there used to be.
Oh, there used to be. Yeah, you mentioned, yeah.
Now, I think there used to be. Now there's one band. Actually, they are from Tripoli, and the vocals. He's a tattoo artist. He's done my
Oh,
last
nice.
tattoo here.
Nice.
Uh, yeah. Uh, but the guitarist lives now in Poland.
Right.
The vocalist is from Lebanon. The bassist also is living in, I think, England.
Okay.
you know, they are not together in Lebanon,
Right.
but they are, recording in different places and mixing at, someone from Argentina, I believe.
Okay.
So
Very
yeah,
spread out.
they
Yeah.
recently released an album.
I want to ask you this because you have three singles out. Now, will those three singles lead to a permanent
Yes.
EP or an album? Have you got like lots of tracks, going on in your head? What's the future going to be?
Yeah, for Daskra right now, I'm working on a new EP
Awesome.
and it's gonna be out really soon, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks from
Oh,
now.
great. Awesome.
Actually, all the songs were recorded a year ago,
Wow.
you know, on my computer here.
Yeah.
And, since I mix myself and I master myself, and I am a one-man band project, so no one is following me. So there's no deadline or something like that. So there's no, people rushing you in a way. So you can, work freely. So yeah, I'm working on an AP right now. It's gonna be, I think, 4 or 5 songs. 30 minutes, uh, something like that. So it's gonna be out soon. And
Great.
for the future of Daskra, I think, yeah, I'm still thinking about gather those musicians if I find the right ones,
Mm.
that actually appreciate this kind of music. They have to love it. They have to be in it and love it in order
Do you
to
think you'd
get
have to?
accepted.
Do you think you'd have to go overseas to do that? Do you think you'd have to go to other countries, or do you think you can find the talent near to you?
Yeah, man, I think maybe I'm thinking Greece.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
Greece.
yeah. Some talent there. Yeah.
I'm considering buying a house there maybe in the
Ooh.
next few years.
I love Greece. Greek food's good as well.
So
Greek food is cool.
yeah, thank you. Man. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna be moving there maybe, back and forth between Greece and Lebanon
Amazing.
because my business is here. And my business, is expanding now. I'm exporting to Dubai now. So maybe I'm gonna open another branch in Greece later. I'll see how things goes. But for the band, actually, I don't think I can find the right musicians in Lebanon. So, but I hope to. That's all I can say for
Yeah,
now. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's cool.
Maybe, maybe.
So let me ask, this is my final question, Farouk. What is on the bucket list for Daskra and yourself as well, musically? Like, I know you have your business and etc. You want to spread out there for the black metal scene in whether it be Hellenic or whether it be in Lebanon or whatever. What do you want to achieve when you're playing your own music? What do you want to do?
If someone in Europe, in Poland, and England, in whatever, um, hears the music and, send me a comment or leave me a message saying that he likes the music, that's all I want.
Wow. Okay.
I don't care about money coming from Daskra. I don't care about going mainstream like I told you before. Um, I really enjoy making this kind of music because I love it. And I really hope people will get the message that I'm trying to deliver,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
So this is what Daskra is all about, is, projecting my influences and, my pictures.
Let's wrap this up because I want to ask you my final question. And that would
Yeah.
be from your perspective and your wanting of the industry, what message would you give to anyone listening to this interview that wants to know more about Daskra and want a direct message to people listening? Because I'm going to play tracks beginning and end of this interview, so directly talk to the fans or the people that listen to your music.
So yeah, Daskra is all about, you can interpret the pictures I'm giving you the way you want it. So like I told you, you can, um, when I express myself in the music, I don't tell you my story. I tell you a story, and you
Mm,
can see it the way you want it. You can interpret it the way you want it. So if you're sad, you'll be more sad. So if you are happy, you can be more happy.
yeah,
If you're in solitude, you can feel it really deep. So every song tells a different story, and it's really personal to everyone to interpret it the way he wanted or she wanted. For me, this is what atmospheric black metal is all about.
100%.
So when you listen to Daskra, sometimes I repeat riffs to a point where I feel this is enough because uh, the more you listen to a riff or a part or a section, you start to go deeper into this picture that I'm trying to deliver.
Mm.
Okay. So when I say enough, because I don't wanna make a 25 minutes song, but I actually have a versions of the music for me, for myself, where I listen to this, when I walk and when I go to the woods. There are actually for myself, I just repeat them. So it is 25 minutes, 30 minutes
Mm,
songs,
mm.
um, repeating, with ambient synth and all that. So I just listen to them and enjoy them. So if people can actually get this message, that's all I want. That's all I want from them. So I show them the picture and they can interpret it the way they want it,
Love that. And that's
you know.
absolutely perfectly summed up for me. That's absolutely, but in the three tracks you've released, my last question, because I thought that's the last question, but I've just thought of another one. How many more tracks can we expect in the next, like on this EP? Because we all want more of this.
I'm glad you want more of this. Actually, it's gonna be like 4 songs, maybe
Great.
5.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, every song is gonna be like 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the average,
Of
you
course.
know, average Daskra songs and maybe average for, atmospheric black metal
Yeah, of
songs.
course.
So it's gonna be like 4 or 5 songs. Maybe if I get inspired more, I'm gonna do a full album after that, full
Super.
length album because I have a lot of stuff laying down for maybe years in my computer.
Yeah.
And if you ask me why I didn't release all this stuff before, I would answer, because of financial issues that I've been dealing with before I opened the store and all that. And
Yeah.
now that I have the store and my business is doing really well, I can rely on it to pay the bills and, to feed my family and
Yeah. That's
live a
good.
healthy, normal life. And now I
Beautiful.
have the time to, invest in my music.
I love that. And it's all music, right? It's all music related. It's great.
It's all music related. That's perfect. That's perfect for me. I'm doing what I love
Exactly.
and I'm making money from the things that I love. And, I have a degree in psychology uh, in university, but I never work as a psychologist because I don't wanna be that guy, just listening to people and treat them. Because I love music, not
Hmm.
because I don't want to help people.
Yeah.
Because I love music and I love making money from music. And
But
this is
you must bring that
who I
psychology
am.
you must bring that psychology qualification into real life, like how we're talking to each other now and how you're dealing with sales and all these different things. Yeah, it must be part of that.
Yeah, it is. Actually, in sales, I transform myself into a salesman because
Yeah.
I'm a really good salesman. I can sell really, I can sell sand in deserts. If
Yeah, I
you
love that.
are in a
Yeah,
desert together, I
I love
can
that.
sell you
Brilliant.
sand. That's how strong I am as a salesman.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
so yeah, this is where I run my business. I do the ads, the Facebook, Meta
Yeah,
ads, all that. The logo, the marketing, everything I do it myself.
brilliant.
Yeah, and it's working well.
Listen, Farouk, thank you so much for the chat tonight. It's been absolutely fascinating to talk to you. And I wish Daskra
Honor
all
to
the
be here.
best. And I can't wait to hear more music. And I hope that you send it to me first and I can play it to the world.
Sure, absolutely. A premiere for Daniel. Yes, it will be from you for you before I ever release it anywhere.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
a promise to
Thank you
you.
so Thanks
And
so
thank
much.
you so much. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, really, coming from you personally. And I checked on you, not because I didn't, I just checked on the guy who's gonna be interviewing me, and I found that you are doing an amazing job. And I was enjoying every interview we were doing. You're such a great person, also. Um, Thank you so much for having me, bro. Thank you. And I think we are now friends.